right, guys. Welcome back to Kamisha Reviews. Hit that like button and subscribe. Have you joined the membership yet? What are you guys waiting for? All right, guys. Also, super thanks, super chats. Hit that Cash App. Oh, yes, I said it again. Why not advertise myself? I am a business. I am that brand. Support content creators. We need the love, baby. With that being said, get your drink poured or whatever you got to do because you know we're going to throw shade and a whole lot of laughs is going to happen. Talk to you later. Bye. All right, guys. Welcome back to Kamisha Reviews. Yes, at this time, I have some breaking news. I have some tea. Okay, just sit back and wait. I got you. I'm going to tell you what it is in just a minute. All right, y'all. What is going on? It is me, the Queen, Kamisha Reviews. What is up? It's happy Sunday. As you know, your girl is always grinding. I literally just got for work about an hour ago. But everybody knows Kamisha Reviews is a grinder. And if you have a passion, you want to do something, you gotta just do it. And I love doing my blogging. And so, yeah, I get like 3 hours sleep, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm a G like that. Okay, back again in the building. The Queen. She was one of my first interviews I did for this season. She risked my platform, and she is here again. And I really am excited that she's here because a lot of things I saw her recently. Yeah, forgive me, my voice is a little scratchy. I saw something on TV. It's a show recently. Um, did not run me the right way. Now, as a blogger, I come out and I say things, and I'm close to a lot of reality TV cast, especially Red to Love, my first shows, first love, we want to say it like that, and they support me heavy. The cast from the past and even now. So it's a pleasure for me to bring on the Queen for a second time, which me and her even said we were gonna do this again. So it is what it is. Okay. What's going on, Tasha? What's going on, baby girl? Did I add her? Jesus Christ, I'm touching the screen. Lord have mercy. Can you hear me, baby?
I can. How are you?
I am awesome. Let me make you big. I can hear her mouth. Make her bigger. Hold on. I can hear my hold on, but it's too small. Oops. There we go. All right. What is going on, mama? Welcome back to my platform. You
Thank
are
you.
friend to the show, family to the show, Commission Views, crew loves you. How are you, beautiful?
I'm well. I hope you're well too. I heard you say that you only had a couple hours of sleep. So,
Oh, everybody know that about me. That's what I do. I'm too passionate for what I do to worry about sleep.
yeah. I'm,
Um,
I'm a fellow no sleeper too, so I can relate.
and I'm off tonight anyway. I'm gonna go anywhere, so I'm just like doing my thing. So anyway, a lot of things that happened, and I know the last time you were on here, we had a quick. There was on a real quick commission reviews show that we did together. I was so happy you came on, but I want first before we get into the the grits and the gravy, or the mud, or whatever how you want to put.
whatever you want to refer to it as.
Right. So when you left, and you left and did your own thing, I know you watch these bloggers, fans or whatever, speak about you on the show briefly. And I really want to hear what you have to say because your hair was literally a trending topic even after you left, even on my panel. So I was like, I've got to hear what she thinks about it. The natural hair, dealing with that, it's rough for every black woman who know we know about that. But how did you feel seeing the comments, seeing everybody's commentary after you left the show?
I mean, I'm sure I didn't see everything that was circulating. I saw enough. I feel like to know probably what what everyone is saying means. I will just say that it wasn't the humidity. My hair, I actually got rained on for an extended period of time. So I wore a style that I know is good for me. Actually, the picture that's in the background here from the flyer, that crinkle is like my go-to because it's it's like my saving a blowout kind of style, because when my hair gets like too greasy or whatever, I can just throw the beach wave crimper thing on it, and then I can extend it for a little bit longer, because I've only let one person touch my hair for like the past decade, and we found out during COVID that I was like washing my hair too much.
Oh.
So that way I don't have to like wash it, once, twice a week, because I don't like when it's stringy and greasy. So
Mm.
of course, I wouldn't go with a blowout because the humidity would attack that. The second that I stepped out of the car, it would have puffed out. But this hairstyle has been my like tried through and through, like
Right.
never fails me.
Right.
And that's why if you look at like when probably the best reference is when I was getting sent home, and you could see from the side, like the base of the ponytail is slick, and that's because my hair didn't puff out just from the humidity. If that's the case, then everything would have been all crinkled the exact same way. It was the back of it got poofed out because I was trying to be a team player, and I was, we were in a conversation. It was me, I think Suanne and Blue, and it started to rain. We were underneath like the I don't know, it's like a carport where all the sides are open, but you're completely covered. But it started to rain and the wind started to blow. So I was feeling rain on the back of my head. And I literally said to them, I was like, y'all ain't getting wet. But there were cameras, mics. I would have had to make like a grand exit to be like, okay, I'm gonna move because I'm getting wet. And I didn't expect that it would have been that bad. But the back side of my head was taking all of the rain because that's where it was blowing from.
Right.
So I came off and realized like my hair was all poofed. I talked to them about like, can I get a flat iron? Can I go straighten it? And there was no time for it. But then when I wanted to put it up in a bun, they were like, no, 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 you have to keep the same hairstyle. But I'm like, but it's not the same hairstyle regardless. Like
Right.
it's not gonna matter. So they made me wait until we were filming, which was actually probably the segment when Tommy was talking about, like no, that was at the beginning. I don't know. It was probably like the second time where we were standing along the pool and Tommy was talking to us, and they told me that as soon as we start filming, then you can put your hair back. But there's no mirror. I can't see anything. So I just quickly had to like put it back. And then from there, it was just like boom, boom, boom the rest of the time. And I like obviously take pride in my looks. I know that looks are everything, but I'm not like that pressed to like go and like make it look perfect or whatever. But I see that I should have because it did, like that ponytail should have had its own, like that should have been its own character because it reminded me of like back in elementary school when I was a tomboy and didn't want my mom to do my hair, and I literally had like a huge rabbit puff like every day. That's the only way I wanted to wear my hair. I didn't care. Just slick it back in a ponytail and let me be about my day. I want to go play football with the boys, stuff like that. So
Right.
looking back at it, I get that when you are on any type of public platform, like people are going to have an opinion about everything. Some things you won't think they'll have an opinion about, but I get it. I would have had an opinion about it too. I would have been like, girl, what was you thinking? What was you doing? But I don't wear wigs. I don't wear weaves. So it was either my natural straighten or crinkle or bun. Those are my options. That's all I know how to do with my hair. And to be honest with you, even if I wore my hair like this, it still would have ended up looking like that because of the rain.
Wow. Yeah, your hair literally was its own character on Ready this season.
I will say one thing sorry to cut you off, but I will say one thing that was surprising to me with regard to some of the comments that either I saw or that people like shared with me was the fact that like men had so much to say about my hair and that I should have known better and that I should have worn a wig and a weave. I've just never, I don't know, the men that I encounter and deal with on a daily basis, like I just was kind of surprised that they were so pressed to have so much of an opinion about it. That was strange to me. But
it's just, I remember it was just a really big deal, but I remember I have short natural hair, and it was just, when I was younger, it was a big deal. First of all, I want to say hello to everybody in the chat. I see Simone is in the chat. Evita, Maud, hey Marcia. I see a lot of people in the chat. How y'all doing? Please, guys, hit the like button and subscribe if you are new to the channel. And I will have Miss Mama's Instagram and all kind of information if you hadn't followed her already. In the chat. Damita, if you grab her information I posted in the chat for me, I would appreciate it. Anyway, let's talk about some dirty stuff. Now,
not dirty things.
Look, it's a mess. Okay, let's clean it up. So when I hit you up, we talked about this briefly a little bit in the back, but I did, feel away. And I don't know, for a moment after the blogger had off, and I was just looking at it like if I was a woman listening to this, how would I feel? And that's where I was with it. At that moment, I wasn't really Kamisha review the blogger. It was like me as the woman. How would I feel if I was sitting here or if I was a part of the show or whatever, and I happened to overhear that, I probably would have went off. I'm not gonna lie. Even if I didn't like you, I still would have went off because I just thought it was gross. So let's start with that. And make speculation, and I'm not doing that. I'd rather ask the queen herself instead of assuming or whatever. So the scene that we saw, the first scene before this last episode, um, Morgan briefly mentioned your name. She
Mhm.
said something about entanglement or whatever you, and I was just like, nope. Everybody, you look at the chat, you look at everybody, like, what's going on? Why are they bringing up someone who at the first episode? And it's been, I'm confused. Then we have the second episode where she speaks about you and him and what you done or what you have to together, and I the way she was speaking about you, it bothered my soul. So first, I want to start with you and tell you for you to tell your side of the story, not what we saw on TV or what Morgan said, because I wasn't there and Morgan wasn't either. So go ahead, Chris, speak your piece.
So I guess two separate parts. One was like when I found all about out about all of this, like when it hit the fans for me. Um, it, I found out about it on Friday. Like I didn't know the extent of what was going to be discussed. I think everyone pretty much knows now that the reunion was filmed long, long, long time ago. So I still didn't even find out the extent of everything that was going to come out at the reunion. So I had received messages prior thereto, kind of like apologizing or clarifying what was about to happen. But I was like, well, I had to see it for myself. And Friday was the first episode that I watched like in real time, except for, the ones where I've gone to the premiere party or watched with other cast members. But I was like, well, I need to see this in real time before I see any comments or whatever I want to hear, I want to see. But with regard to what actually happened, that's a difficult question for me to answer. And the reason why is that I personally do not discuss my personal business. So that's me personally. The
Mm-hmm.
other reason is that I don't think it's appropriate for double standards to be put on women in the negative way that they are with regard to what women choose to do with their bodies or what women choose to do in relationships or in dating. And I feel like for me to come on any platform or any, public arena and pick defending myself or clarifying the specifics that are connected to something that's very personal is me like just wavering away from my thought with regard to that. And I feel like this door was busted wide open, but
Mm.
not by me. And I don't have to choose to walk through that door. Like, I don't have to choose to now, oh, well, since you opened the door, let me come in here and tell you what you really need to know, because it should have never been opened in the first place.
Here
What
you
I don't like is that so I have to address it in two separate parts because I don't like the way that Tony describes certain things, specifically like through my number and then went on a few dates, and that's not accurate regardless. I do think that Tony was trying to address whatever he needed to address because of the requirements from production, whatever, in a way of, just saying intimate. Intimate is a very general term. In fact, Tommy, when asking about this at the end of the episode, he said, so Tony, you went on an intimate date with Morgan. What happened on that intimate date? So to me personally, at first, I didn't think anything of it because intimate can mean so many things,
yes.
as proven by that example, because I don't think that he was referencing Morgan and Tony going on a sex date. Like, it means that, it's close. It's, intimacy could be kissing, intimacy could be, sex. It could be so many things. So at first I was like, why would Tony imply that? And why would Tony say intimate, knowing that it just leaves the door open for so much? But when I saw the show and realized that Tony had a private conversation still about me, but had a private conversation with Morgan, and then she, with malice intent, came and brought it on national television, that was like a whole nother level of like, seriously.
Right.
because I personally feel like I dodged a bullet seeing how this show played out with all the drama and all the foolishness that went on. I feel like I dodged a bullet by going home when I did, but now it's like I'm catching stray bullets and I'm like way like miles and miles away from it. Like, how do stray bullets get all the way over here to me? So I am frustrated because it's like I should have been allowed to still continue on over here minding my business like I've been doing until the reunion came out, and now here I am.
Mm.
I don't I mean I will definitely answer any questions, but like as far as me just like I said, walking through that door and then just saying like, here's the real deal and this is actually what happened and then this is how it went, and then commenting on the intimate nature of Tony and I's relationship is me doing the same thing that I said I don't do. So like my therapist said, if somebody do something bad, just because they did something bad first doesn't mean that you get to like now match that behavior and it be okay for you. So I just can't do it. And I'm going to repeat this again because I strongly feel this way. I feel like defending myself gives off the impression that it's not okay for a woman to do what's okay for a man to do, that it's not okay for a woman, even if someone wants to believe how it could have been construed, that I threw myself at Tony and we went on one date and hooked up, or smashed is the word that I'm hearing, smashed on, after one date or 2 days or 3 days or whatever. If that were the case, that so what? So what? And even though I want, like, I feel like part of my brain is like, no, Natasha, clear it up, like clear your name. But there's nothing that I feel like should be cleared up, because if that were my decision, then that was my decision and I shouldn't be shamed for it, because no woman should be shamed for it. So like I said, I do have that little urge to like, clear all the little facts to like really tell what was going on, but that'll have to be like on a question by question type thing, because for me to just choose to walk through that door, I'm not going to do it, because I'm sick of women like being like on the negative end of this double standard. It sickens me.
So people are saying, I saw they put that I don't like using that word, the S word, shame you on TV, and that was what it was. When you
Mm-hmm.
when you look at the definition of that type of terminology, however you say it, that is what happened. I I respect you a lot, so that's why for me it's like I know you. I want you to not. I'm not gonna lie. I want you to do that. I'm so serious. I'm professional. I don't know what, but I do want you to kind of click and be like. And I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just telling you like my other spirit. It's like I want her to do that. Yeah, I want you to say no, ma'am. Da da da. Because it was out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
We were not supposed to know about that as
Right.
fans or bloggers or whatever. We weren't supposed to know.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, and I'm not going to ask you. I'm going to ask you. When you first heard it, did you know it was going to happen? Did you know it all was going to be revealed? Let me ask you that.
Okay, so it came out right before, it was brought to my attention right before the reunion that my name was brought up, and it was discussed on camera that Tony and I had been dating outside of filming. And my response to the producer was, why? Because I'm thinking like I was the first person to go home. Like, why would my name be brought up? Period. And the response was, I don't know, but I just wanted to give you the heads up. But as far as there being any reference to like intimacy or anything beyond you and Tony were dating, I didn't find that out until the reunion. I was completely blindsided about
Uh,
it then. I found it out at the end of the reunion. I hope that they play enough of what I said in response. And I didn't take that, even though I was blindsided and now it's like, oh, what now, I've had time to think about it. I still didn't take the bait. I'm not going to stand there and put defending myself or my reputation. I'm confident that my reputation is intact. I do not think that this will affect my professional reputation. In fact, it disgusts me that I've heard people say, that's a shame, she's a lawyer, she should do better, or things like that, because that's part of my platform, is the fact that your profession or your title, whatever that title may be, should not mean that you can't be a human being. And we have to be who we are. And I encourage always that people, especially women, feel confident and encouraged to show up as your authentic self, no matter the room that you're in, no matter the audience, does not matter. You should be who you are, and you should be confident and comfortable in that, period. Because I am not just a lawyer, I'm the lit lawyer, and I do not shy away from the fact that I have a personal life and I work really hard to keep my professional and personal life very, very balanced. Dating is hard. Dating is so, so hard,
Yes.
but I will never settle, and I will never, ever, ever blame myself. Yeah, I was a little embarrassed how Tony was portrayed just by being connected to him.
Oh wow.
But I will say that the person that you saw on that date, that intimate date, as Tommy called it, where he said, no, you're not going to sit here and disrespect Natasha. That's more consistent with the Tony that I got to know off
Okay.
camera. So I might be like, oh my gosh, like I don't even want, after that came out, people were messaging me like, ew, you had an entanglement with Tony. And I'm
Oh,
like, there's more to it, like, whatever. And I just didn't want to express, things that were going to come out on the show. And I was like, we'll talk after the reunion, but just watch the show, just see what happens. And I did not know the extent of what was going to happen. Someone told me that they had heard that Morgan called me ugly. And I was kind of taken aback by that, but I was like, nah, there ain't no way. One, because maybe it's because I see energies, but I didn't see, even from the first time meeting Morgan, I thought she was attractive. I'm not going to take that from her, but I didn't see the person that people see physically. But I also felt like, no, there's no flipping way, because at that big age, like, we don't do that. Like, we
not
don't
big
sit here
age.
and we don't sit here and like down another woman. Morgan and I never had any interaction up to that point at the reunion. The only conversation that we had was about something she posted on her story about some key limes or something like that. And that's it. That's all that was discussed between us. We never had any negative anything. I never said anything bad about her, and I'm still not going to, because I feel like y'all see what y'all see. Like, it is what it is. And I only knew that it was going to come out that Tony and I had dated. I did not know that she said those things. I didn't know that she was the one that forced it to come out on camera. I didn't know Tommy sat there and like tried to pull it out of Tony. I didn't know any of those things until y'all knew it.
Wow. That being said, not only did you see it, we saw it. People around you, in your close, I guess relatives or friends saw it. Did you have any? Did you have to hear about that from them? That's different. DM people don't know, but like your mom calling you, like, "Girl, what you doing?" You know, that kind of thing. My mom would call me immediately. Trust me, I know she would have. So I'm like, how was that an issue? Was it just support? People like, I don't care.
So my family doesn't really watch the show. A lot of my circle basically were like, oh, okay, well, I'm glad you're not on it, because now I got to watch this stupid show. So they didn't continue watching it. However, after the reunion, I did have conversations with people that are in my inner circle with regard to that. And their response was essentially the same thing. And they, wanted to know, like, how did you respond? Like, did you drag him for filth? Blah, 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 blah. But no, I don't get me wrong, I will meet you low. Like, I will go there with you, but not if I have to sacrifice my character and who I am. I'm not doing it. But they already knew, like I said, my inner circle knew what had happened off camera, with the fact that I continued dating someone off camera or whatever, which the fact that that's, I guess, a breaking a rule, okay, news to me. But they knew. And when it was aired, because again, I couldn't prepare them for any of that because I didn't know.
Right.
But when it did air, the only response that I got from people who actually know me is either, are you good? Or um where they at, because I'm about to slap some people. Like, my
Oh
people who
shit.
know me do not feel that they know me, so they don't look at that and be like, oh my gosh, your reputation. They're thinking like, she looks disgusting, like, this is terrible, why would he say that, why this, why that, the same types of questions that I had. And they just want to make sure that I'm good. And there's conversations with regard to how to respond to it, but they know how I feel about not putting myself and defending myself above the bigger picture, which is the double standard, the lack of accountability on men, and the fact that dating's hard. And like, we as women, especially Black professional women, we need more grace. And I just feel like it's an area where it's just ignored, and it's sad to me. So I'm not gonna put myself before it. I'm just not.
Okay, well, a lot of people have talked about Tony in this situation. I know I didn't even, I guess when it was like came out, like y'all dated or went or hung out, whatever y'all did, it's like, okay, so I guess that maybe I thought about other seasons. Like this happens, like after someone leaves, are y'all supposed to do that? Does it change the process? Was this a rogue thing? Because I this is my first time ever hearing about it. That
Well, listen, it there's plenty of intimacy going on this season. There's plenty of intimacy going on last season, and from what the comments are saying, seasons before, where I wouldn't even have
Mhm.
that kind of insight into as well. But with regard to dating off camera, I was told the night that I left, while still at the mixer, waiting to do my exit interview, that well, at least now you don't have to wait to be set up on dates. If you developed a connection with anyone, then now you can explore that without the constraints of the process. And I was like, oh, true, that's true. So I did just that.
Okay.
And I did not throw my number at Tony. We exchanged numbers, and he hit me up after like when I got to my car and got a chance to check my phone. I already had a message waiting, like he had already texted me saying it was BS and blah blah blah. We talked on the phone for days, and then we ended up going out on a date, and we continued to date for that entire time. So it
Wow.
was what it was.
Wow. So y'all, because you hear the show and the way she spoke about it, it's not was like so curt, so
Mhm.
short, So
And it's my understanding it's because of the fact that he, I guess, didn't want to, that he shared that information with her because it was going to come out some other way or whatever. But I, of course, I don't air my business. Like, that's my business. So I didn't tell nobody nothing for it to come back to him. I don't know if people were putting two and two together and trying to get that information or that confirmation from him to find out, and he took the bait. I don't know. That's them to figure out. But he shared it off camera, and it's my understanding that he said to her good things and that he did care about me, and she didn't like that. And that's why I say that it's disgusting, because you went in there with an agenda. And she said, I'm not going to be the one looking stupid, or I'm not going to be made to look stupid. But then look how you look, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, i I don't know.
Okay, let's keep it real. When Morgan was talking about you and you were sitting there, I want to know how you felt because watching it, the first thing I thought about was you because I was just sitting there watching it, and when he was like, "She's a beautiful girl," and she was like, "No, she's not," and I was just like, "What? Where did that come from? Like, where?"
I think it came from a hurt place, and a place that's just full of insecurities. And I that don't belong to me. Like, that's something she got to deal with and she got to fix, because not only am I beautiful on the outside, but I'm just as beautiful on the inside. Like, I really am a good person. And I actually had a recent conversation with Tony, and I asked him about, like, one of the last conversations that we had. He asked me, like, I'm gonna ask you something, like, I want to know, why you, how do you say it? Like, I want to know why, like, what's wrong with you, basically. Like, he was like, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're successful. He's like, I've seen your hustle, like, da da da. Like, what's wrong with you? And like I told him then, I I can't help how people portray me. Okay. Like, coming even on this platform, I might say one thing, one statement, and you have three people and they take it three different ways. Two might be, a fan, one not. One might be a fan, two not. I can't have any control over that, but I'm going to be me. So whatever you're picking up, that's really me. So I didn't know what to say from that. And I don't know if she doesn't, I don't know, maybe she hasn't had like the life experiences to understand that if you have frustrations that are directed to someone that owes you something and they disappointed you, then you need to focus on directing that towards them. Don't, come on, like, low hanging fruit. If we're gonna
Right,
be anything,
right,
let's be for
right.
real. Like, let's be for real. Come on.
So she was dragging you. So my question is, have you ever had negative interaction at all?
Never. We never had no interaction. Like I said, except for an exchange. Like we've never had any interaction. One on one, never, no conversation. It's not like she didn't even confront me and say, I heard this, I heard that. What the There was no exchange at all. And that's why it wasn't seeking clarity or, making him be held accountable, because you could have said that without saying my name. So that was directed towards me. And like I said, it was malice intent. You came
Mm.
from a negative, dark, gross place. And child, you gotta work through that. But I'm not that same person. I don't meet me outside. I don't gotta do that.
Not meet me outside.
I mean, at the end
Oh
of the
Lord.
day, like, it was disrespectful, and I don't tolerate disrespect. However, I feel like, child, she done dug her hole deep enough. Like, go deal with whatever. Like, I don't have to, because
Yeah.
anybody with any kind of sense could see that I didn't deserve that. It's not appropriate, even if we did have an exchange, to go come for the other woman. I didn't do nothing to you, so it's just very distasteful. And child, that should cross the bear.
Yeah, people are really kind of like defending you, like just saying why would another woman say it about her, because we didn't see anything where you guys had anything that was negative between the two of you,
It
where
doesn't
it doesn't make any sense. So people are feeling like, I'm looking in the chat, a lot of empathy, like why, and they're saying that it's unfair and unnecessary. Peace with it. Shot. I'm sorry. Shot. I think he said it. I just said that in the chat, and that's all I'm seeing. So I want you to receive that love as well. Was another reason why I did this, because um, whatever a woman does with her body, you should never be embarrassed by it. I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm just saying it's a general statement that you should never be embarrassed by it. No one should ever make you feel that way. And or try to, maybe I should say that. And that was an attempt that I feel like was a big failure. You're a very strong woman. I could tell that yes, your vibe. I get that vibe from you immediately. And it hurt my soul. And a lot of women hated it. So with Morgan, has she ever reached out to you to apologize or say, hey, I was in the moment at that time, da da da?
So at the reunion, when this came up, she was answering a question from Tommy, that she looked at me and she said, and Natasha, I apologize for the negative things that I said while filming. And I just kind of shrugged, because I was like, okay. And after that is when I heard that apparently it was that she called me ugly. And I was like, there's no way. Like, why? And 30 minutes or so before the episode aired, she sent me a direct message saying, like, I can't let this air without first, like, apologizing to you. My frustration was directed towards Tony and not you. But I wasn't going to respond until I actually saw it. And I'm glad that I did, because I'm a very forgiving person. But like I said, if we're going to be anything, let's be for real, because you wanted to, like, drag me publicly, but then you want to slide in my DM and apologize to me. And then it was just a very half-assed, like, apology, like, oh, it was directed towards Tony. No, it wasn't. Like, and
Boom.
I mean, like I said, I feel like I'm the one catching the straight bullets from this. Like, I've been gone from the show. I guarantee you, majority of the people were like, "Who is Natasha?" Like, you could have easily said that without saying my name, and then to make that comment with such, like, just such a dark, like, energy in your eyes. No, she's not, and she's low hanging fruit. And girl, listen, some people think that making it to the end of this show was valiant or something to be, like, praised.
Surprise, like
Like,
in every
bro,
voice.
I genuinely went there looking for love. And because I was sent home too soon, way before I should have been, and unfairly sent home, I absolutely am not going to stop with, like, pursuing the mission that I was there for. I really, really thought that this was going to be like my grand love story. So, of course, like, no one told me that we couldn't do it. And like I said, I was encouraged to do it. And that's what I did. I still explored. A lot of the guys hit me up and were, I wasn't the one that sent you home, things like that. So there was one person that I vibed with that night, and we went on dates. And like I said, I saw a different person than what was portrayed. We fell out. It was kind of like a bad falling out, but it all surrounds this situation here. So
Oh wow.
know what her issue is, but I still don't think it's with me. I think it's misdirected insecurities, misdirected trauma. I don't know that girl business to even try to pretend to like know the source of it, but I think that it's clear that you misdirected your frustration in the most tacky, disgusting way. Because yeah, you could say you were mad at and frustrated at Tony, but you intentionally brought it out. He was surprised and said, "You really finna do this right now?" Because they
Hmm.
had a conversation about it. So if y'all had a conversation about it, you decided that you were going to forgive him, move on with him, whatever, then do that. Don't bring me into it. And then on top of that, after the fact, go into the confessional and continue talking about me. Girl,
Mm.
came out your mouth is how I feel. That was my response to it. Like, why are you still talking about me? Why do you remember my name? Like, forget me.
Well, to me, I thought about it like this: if you and Tony would have got together and dated, whatever, it would be another like Simone and Rashid, which we all fell in love with their story. I fell in love with it from the beginning when I saw Simone and him on the truck and everything. Because I picture flyer where there was at a club one day, and I said they're gonna get married, and that was years ago. So
Mm.
if you guys would have actually, you know, dated and they continued or whatever, the fans, everybody would have loved it. So is that the problem that she had? Is that I'm just trying to figure out the
I,
motivation.
I honestly think it's jealousy. I mean, even if you remember my name, then you remember what goes along with my name. And Google me, baby. Like I
Mm.
got plenty going on to know that low hanging fruit, like, come on. Like it's just such a stretch to the point where it's like it's forced. So I think it's coming from a place of jealousy because why you beefing with me? Like what's your issue with me? Because if I was on the show, then the connection would have blossomed maybe the same way, probably not, because I would have saw all of those extra things that were going on in the show that I wasn't aware of. But either way, like that's the point of the process.
Right.
And you're dating. I wasn't in a committed relationship with Tony. Morgan wasn't in a committed relationship with Tony. No one else on the show that he was interested in or had a connection with was in a committed relationship with Tony. The whole point of the show, which is why it's such a difficult and extreme process, is that you are dating multiple people like in front of everyone. The difference is that I just had to like kind of speculate and assume and have conversations just one on one with him to say like you don't want to like just see what happens while you're on the show and let's holler, at each other if I'm single and it doesn't work out with you. Like those are the conversations that I'm having just with him, and I'm not seeing everything that everyone else is seeing on the show, like everything that's playing out. So I don't know. It's the same. Like, everyone was exploring multiple connections. That's dating. Like, that really is the right way to date. I struggle with
Hmm.
that, dating multiple people at once. But that's my advice to anyone. If I gave advice to someone and said, like with regard to dating, that's one of the things that I say. Like, don't just, put all your eggs in one basket. Like, until you're committed, date other people. So,
Well, I guess people in the chat are also asking about Tony.
mhm.
Did it affect y'all where it's like you're not talking or you're mad at him or whatever? The status of that since the show, especially. I'm sure he reached out. He defended you, which I thought was wonderful.
Hmm. Yeah. So I don't mad, no. I feel like that's like a present feeling.
Hmm.
But I already was mad at him and got to a place where I wasn't speaking to him the last two, maybe three times that we were in the same place. I literally didn't even acknowledge him. Before that, even though he and I weren't dating anymore, I still would say, hey, hug, whatever, keep it moving, but no conversation like that. But recently after the reunion, like every time I saw him after the reunion, like you don't exist to me, because I felt like how trifling to blindside me like that. Like you could have hit me up and gave me the heads up. But after the reunion, he hit me up, I ignored him. He hit me up before the episode, I ignored him. Like I wasn't interested, I was done. But because I saw the episode and I saw that he wasn't the one that brought it out, and at minimum he tried to, have a private conversation about it, which I feel like still like for what? Like what you sharing or whatever. And he told me his reasoning for it. We had a long conversation and he said that a lot wasn't aired, but I want to give him an opportunity to do his own interviews and discuss that. As far as being mad at him, no, I feel like that takes too much energy that I'm not giving to this situation or to him. But I am disappointed in him. I feel like he got played to make good TV. And I feel like if you are saying that you told her out of respect, then you claimed to respect me and all these things, and you should have told me what was going to happen before the reunion. Like, don't let me be blindsided like that. Like, that was foolish. But I also don't, and I addressed this directly with him. I don't like the fact that he said, like, through my number, and the way they were like keying. I didn't like that. That was very distasteful, and it was just very childish. And I get this whole like men will be men, but I don't do that double standard thing. So if it's behavior that wouldn't be acceptable or appreciated or praised from any gender, it ain't gonna be praised from no man just because, oh, well, you know how men are. No, I know how people should act, and that ain't.
Mm,
So I don't know
mm.
how that whole encounter happened through my number. Like, I with my friends, because I'm over this, there's no feelings here. There's no that's why I said mad is like, oh, like I'm mad or I really don't care. And any of my friends can tell you that I really haven't given two like F's about this. But I did joke about the whole throwing the number. I was like, oh, so like, did I throw my phone or did I write it on a piece of paper, ball it up, and like shoot it like a basketball? Like, how did I throw my number at you? Like, come on, like for real. So I think that he had to make it seem like, oh, it was just like a couple dates because of the timeline with what he had going on with Morgan. And
Oh.
that's they business. Like, whatever motivated you to say it the way you said it ain't appreciated. But I addressed that directly with him, and I'm not gonna say we squashed it, but I listened to what he had to say. I said what I needed to say, and that was that.
Wow. Yeah, somebody said that. Well, let's see. Tony should have shut it down. He did kind of shut it down, in my opinion. I looked like he wouldn't expect her to say it, and he was like, "Are we gonna really do that?" So I know y'all want to. She's probably in a tight position for her to blame him or whatever. It just seems like she's moved on from it. But she's not feeling anything like that. But I can understand. We just watched it, so for a lot of the fans, it's fresh. We just saw it. But this is a different question. Somebody in the chat said, "Are you related to Simone?" That's Simone's comment on the screen. Actually, she said Morgan owes you an apology.
Mm. And she does, but I mean, I guess she gave it to me in the DM, but I didn't have to address, like, you didn't confront me in my DM or come to me and talk to me woman to woman or whatever about what you had going on with him. And if you feel like you were lied to or betrayed, me too. So I feel like don't come in my DM and give me some little half-ass apology and make an excuse. And it was directed to, Tony and not you. And I apologize. Like, girl, like that's how you apologize if you were given some information and you responded and said something negative, but you knew what you was doing. Like, you intentionally brought it out. I don't know, to deflect from the whole counseling thing or whatever, because that's not even what y'all was there to talk about. And you brought it out. Like, you just threw it out and then went in your confessional again to talk about it. Like, just like, leave me alone.
Um, somebody asked the question because you said there was a timeline. Like they were saying, did you date him throughout the whole thing, the whole show?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I know the exact timeline of, like when this happened. And I mean, I can look back through text messages to know exactly like the dates and stuff, but that just like will blur everything for everyone because everyone's like watching it in real time. And it seems like some of the comments I'll see, they'll be like, I hope that, such and such sees this and that they don't do this. Like, we filmed this so long ago. So, but I know exactly when it was. And we probably were dating up to like, I don't know, maybe like a week before this or less than a week.
Wait a minute. A week before? Well, I'm not sure this was when this. Lord, I cannot. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. See, that's. Wow. And the reason
But
why I paused like that because like when you said the timing for her, so I'm just curious to know when she actually found out, or do
yeah,
you know?
I I don't remember if I asked. I intended to ask him that, but I don't remember if I did. But I know, based upon like the timeline and everything that I know it couldn't have been that, like it must have been like a day or two before. So
So I mean, you exploring the relationship, and like you said, and like I said, also it could have gone the way to Simone and Rashid. It just been different. You got because you got to allowed to date once you leave the show and all that. It could have been a really really good thing, but Morgan finding out about it, the way she wanted to retaliate. I'm not speaking for her, obviously, but she retaliated by saying it live on TV because nobody knew about it, and she wanted us to really know.
right. But I mean, if you're not going to discuss y'all's business, then why are you bringing mine?
Mm,
Like, I mean, talk about everything. Then talk about what you can actually talk about with him. Talk about y'all's personal stuff. Don't talk about me. And I mean, I get why he said he brought it out. But the fact that he was like dating me off camera or whatever, I don't see. Okay, so I have my conversations with him with regard to, you're on the show, like, why, like, just do that, and then if it doesn't work out, you don't end up with anyone, and I'm still single when it's done, then we can see, like, yeah, there's a connection, whatever. I brought that up twice, like there was opportunity to do that. But whatever his decision was, yes, I knew that he was on a dating show. I did, and I had issues with that, but I still made that decision. I accept that, but it's no different than if I were on the show. He still would have been dating multiple people as he was. So I didn't see a clip where, he was in a committed relationship with Morgan or anyone else. So if I saw that, then I really would have been like you completely lied. He still was not forthcoming about what was going on the show, but there was no commitment made, and I don't like see what the real difference is. It's the same as if I was dating someone else while dating him as well, which I wasn't for that time frame, but that's only because me personally, I struggle with doing that. I kind of can't really put my attention in a bunch of places, but
right,
I don't think that that's like the way to do it. I actually think it should be the opposite way. I think that you should date other people and not act like you're committed until you're actually committed. So,
right. Okay, that's really how you're supposed to date anyway. Um, how are you dealing with this? It's been a few days and processing this or whatever. And I know your DMs are full. Hopefully, a lot of love.
yeah, I've only like seen one like negative comment, but I mean, to follow that person's advice would have required like a time machine. So I'm just not really sure what they meant. But yeah, I've been receiving a lot of love, and I really, really appreciate it. I can't like read the chats in real time, but if anyone's saying nice things, like I appreciate it, because
There.
if this is like, if I were to give this the credit that it is due, then it would be embarrassing and hurtful. I'm just glad that this happened at this age and where I am mentally, and like in my journey through dating and just through life, because I can handle it. And then on top of that, I'm very busy. So I learned about this hours and hours after that clip had come out, because I was in trial. Like I'm busy. So it's like I almost don't have time to give this the energy that it probably should receive. But I got things. Like when I get off of this interview, like I gotta go back to work. Like I have stuff to do. So I can't
Booked and busy.
yeah, I can't. And it's like I wish that this would have been like next week, because maybe my schedule would have been a little lighter. But at the same time, I'm glad that I'm busy, because I don't have to like find things to distract myself, Like I just
Yes.
so I don't know. It's not that I don't think it's a big deal, but I just feel like, bro, I didn't ask for it. So if it came out while I was on the show and I didn't like how they edited it and, put it out and portrayed me, then I probably would be pissed. But
Mm.
I'm like, why y'all like I told the producer, I was like, it's very much giving grasping for straws. Like y'all don't have enough to talk about on the show. Like, why you bringing me up? Let me send you an invite
Period.
for my appearance fee, because like why
Period.
me back up? Like
Let's
literally,
go.
the first. It's not just that I went home early. I was the first person to go home.
Right,
People were like,
right.
Natasha, who the hell is Natasha? Like, who is that?
Unfortunately, Mama, when the first person goes home, it usually is what's their name. I remember because the fact that I interviewed you because my cousin named Natasha. So I was like, but that's how it goes. The first person, the second person goes home. You're like, that's just how it is. But you're going to be the first when they went home or ready to love. That it's not going to be forgotten.
I mean, I wish it was like for something better or like something more accurate to really show like who I am.
Right.
Like, I cannot stress it enough, Kamisha. Like, I went on this show with the best intentions. Like, I really thought, like, oh, finally, I'm gonna get my love story. Like, I'm gonna find my man, and this is
Aww.
gonna finally be it. But the same way, I don't. So I take like long breaks in between. Oh, I take long breaks in between dating because I try my absolute best to just give each guy like their own fair chance instead of carrying like baggage. So you see a red flag that
Hmm.
you know recognize in the previous dating situation, and then you come to the next one and they do something similar, and then you're automatically like, I know this when I see it. Some stuff is appropriate to do that, but other things it's like that doesn't necessarily mean that. So I might give more chances than not, but anybody who knows me knows that I will kind of like, well, let me see, or like, let me figure it out. Because when I'm done, I'm done. So I don't go back. So it's not like I'll be like, oh no, this is a red flag, I'm done. But I will like drag it out sometimes, not for too long, but I will go a little bit further. And then once it's clear to me, then I'm done. I don't like I can't think of a situation where I've like completely backtracked once I said I was done. So I think that this situation was unfortunate. Like I said, I the person that was portrayed with regard to Tony White was just not the person that I had known. So I had to do my own self-reflection and just wonder, like, did I miss that like sleaziness like from him that everyone picked up on? Like
Wow.
because people were like, oh, it's giving car salesman and things like that. And that's just not the Tony that I got
Oh my
to
God.
know. But that Tony that was like, nah, you're not gonna do this, like the admirable kind of person that we saw just like a glimpse of, is just more consistent with the person that I had gotten to know. And I don't know which one's true. I may never know, but it's what it was. And I like I said, I wish I was going to be remembered for something better, but um I don't care. Like it's reality, it's real. Like
It's
this
just I think it backfired. I think that what she thought was going to happen
oh yeah.
was you were going to have all these negative comments,
Hmm.
oh da da da. But what ended up happening is you got so much love, and she got the negative comments.
Hmm.
Sometimes you gotta be careful
Rightfully
because
so.
you just gotta be careful. I mean, I just feel I don't. I'm not gonna speak for her to say because I've always her on the show, which is one of my favorites. But I don't know if she's sincere or not. I don't know her, but I just feel like you are owed a public apology
Yeah.
because the way it was done publicly. Why do you apologize in the DM when you had no problem saying it on live on camera
Right. Right.
and
Like
for everybody to see, and you knew that we didn't know about it?
right.
So I think you should apologize sincerely on camera. I
Yeah,
do.
I don't care one way or the other, but like in reference to the DM, that was my exact reasoning. Like the best you're gonna get is a thumbs up from me because like you didn't come in my DM to say those things about me. You never said them to me. And this like loose, like, oh, sorry for the stuff I said. I was frustrated. Like that's a weak apology. So it's like I
Mm.
don't give that apology any credit whether it's public or private, but I definitely don't give it like any credit for being private because this wasn't private. So it's like I don't need it. I don't need it, but I just wish that she learns from this and she does what she needs to do to be better in
Hmm.
her next situation.
Yeah.
But that's a loose wish that I would wish for anybody, a stranger off the streets or whatever. But
Oh
because
wow.
I don't know her. I don't know
Mm.
her I have nothing invested in her growth or her success or I have nothing invested there. And now definitely wouldn't be invested. So even if we were on a neutral playing field, it's still neutral, but there's no up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, oh, there's a friendship that can blossom for this. I don't rock with mean girls. Like, all my friends are good people. I'm a good person. I'm a girl's girl. I would never, never, ever do that ever.
So I guess the question, if you're comfortable answering it, why did y'all stop dating?
Um, I mean, he kind of ghosted me like a little bit before, and I guess it was because all of this was coming out, and never had a
Mm.
conversation. We had to come together, like all the cast. Things were kind of awkward. I tried to have a conversation after that to say, like, this isn't normal dating. Like, because sometimes you date people, it don't work out, y'all incompatible. You just go on about your business. But in this situation, we're still gonna see each other. So it wasn't an attempt to have a conversation for like closure or to, I don't know, rekindle. It was nothing like that. It strictly was like, let's just have a conversation so we can end things amicably so things aren't awkward. But he didn't want to do that at the time. And I don't want to speculate, but I guess it's because all of this was still fresh, or because he was pursuing something with Morgan at that time. So I don't know, but essentially that's where things ended. And then I still was cordial with him after that. Like, walking into the reunion, I spoke to him, gave him a hug, continued on my business. He came, asked about, my grandparents and work, and, had all these things to say. And my website had just launched that day. So I wanted to be like, don't put my grandparents' name in your mouth. Like, I wanted to be like, get
Right, right, right.
me. But
Real
um,
talk, real talk.
yeah, the cameras were right in my face. So, it was like, oh, thanks for
Got
asking,
you.
things like that. So I'm cordial up until the reunion when I was blindsided. And then that's when things were like, oh, finito, like, don't look at me, don't, nothing. So the why we stopped dating, I think it was just like living a double kind of life. I mean, when you're dating multiple people, yeah, that's the way you date,
Yeah,
but it's exhausting. That's why I can't do it. Like, you literally are trying to like explore and just see what it could possibly be with this person, but then you're also doing the exact same thing with someone else who's a different person. So it's like you're doing it differently, like that is exhausting. I could never. But I guess, he made his decision or didn't, or maybe it was because where they were in the show. I don't know. That's why I say I don't want to speak too much on his why, because he deserves an opportunity to come out and speak about that. And so does Morgan, even. Like, they can speak about why they did whatever, because again, that's both they crossed the bear. That's their business. That don't belong to me. I can only speak on me.
right. And that's period. So I mean, you're strong and you do what you got to do. You're not really worried about it. But I do wish Morgan would explain herself. She doesn't have to, just like you don't have to do this even now. But I
Yeah.
feel like for her it's different because we're looking at her like, why did you say it? People are also in the chat. I've seen other chats, but they were upset saying that he actually told her that he should not have told her or whatever. You
Mm-hmm.
did. You knew he was gonna tell her, or you didn't know.
Mm-mm. I didn't know any of.
Wow.
So I mean, I guess it was, I told her because I didn't want her to hear from somewhere else or something like that. But
Hmm.
I'm guessing that's the reason why, because anybody would say that. Like, if you don't, if it's not cheating or whatever, like, you wouldn't, like, what are you confessing? Like, there's nothing to confess. But I think maybe that's the reason. But know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's again me just saying like maybe this, maybe that, and speculating, because I don't know. I mean, I don't want to even discuss what he told me his reasoning was, because I just feel like he should be afforded his own platform to say that.
Yes.
Now, if he
Hmm.
gets on said platform and minces words or continues to like keep it open ended to leave room for people to kind of fill in gaps or speculate or whatever, then in response, I may have to say more. But for now, because he hasn't said anything directly negative, he said that some clips were, kept out with regard to additional things that he said. I want to leave that opportunity open for him to have that.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. Understood. But y'all may not talk now, but I'm pretty sure that relationship is not looking like the way you and Morgan's is because you didn't even know there was an issue, and then you find out on TV there's obviously an issue,
Mhm.
and it came from nowhere. And well, him telling her that you obviously dated her this whole time, it probably pissed her off.
Right. And I guess him saying like, no, like I did care about Natasha, like I have nothing negative to say about
Right.
her. Like it became, I think, I
Oh
don't,
yes, yes, yes.
initially I thought that I put everything on him. I'm going to be honest. I was like, no, you were trying to create this competition. Like I've seen what y'all have seen. And it's like, y'all got this trauma bond, this toxicity that is just like, ugh. It is like, I felt like it was intentional on his part to create like that competition, maybe because of Lyndon or whatever. But when I saw that it was her that brought it out, it kind of, it's not to say that like, oh, because of that I'm gonna forgive Tony for his actions, which I mean I forgive both of them, but I'm not gonna excuse it rather. But to see that, then it was like, okay, well, he didn't intentionally like try to hurt me per se. Like he had a private conversation and then she brought it out. But that was like that was nasty. Like why?
It was super. And I see why your friend family was like, "Yo, where's she at?" Because to me, if that was my people, I'm like, "Wait a minute, who got the keys?" Because she's not doing that. That was so disrespectful on so many levels. The low
Mhm.
hanging fruit. She was saying things like, there's a saying. I guess I'm from Louisiana,
Mhm.
or even just all like homes. I would say childhood. You say whatever happened at this table was said. We don't say outside these walls. And that's what she gave me at that. You're saying things that you said at the table that you know you're not supposed to say out loud, but you're doing like you. I feel like she's having a temper tantrum. I don't
Yeah.
know what transpired. I don't know what transpired. I feel like she found out that day. I really feel like that. The way she was wearing her emotions, because she made the comment, it was a two-parter. She made a comment about it the episode before. So I feel like I wondered, did she find out that day? She was so in her feelings that day, and I couldn't get the vibe. What happened? We didn't see a plot. We didn't see anything that happened to them. She just came with this attitude.
Mhm.
I found that really weird.
Yeah, me too. I don't know. It was there was like inconsistencies and I don't know if it's because of like editing or what because sometimes they'll like chop and screw stuff and I don't know if that's what blurs it, but it did
Mm,
seem that like it was I learned about this before and the reason why I didn't speak on it until now was because this or the reason why I decided to speak on it now as opposed to when I first found out was this is the reason or whatever. So I definitely think that, there was a discussion earlier. I don't know if it was one day or 1 week. Well, it couldn't have been that much more than a week before because like again the timeline of everything. But I mean I don't know. I think that there's no I don't know what explanation could come out because you intentionally like brought it
mm,
on camera and brought my name and it's like even the emphasis on my name with Natasha it's like you
right.
like it's so clear. So it's like if I see somebody step on my toe and they come back to me and be like, no, the reason why you think I stepped on your toe was this. It's like, okay, do you think I'm stupid or are you stupid? Like it's like how
Mm,
you know what I'm saying? It's like
right.
how can we ignore like it's right there. But and with regard to like people commenting, because I see some of the comments saying like don't speak on this or this doesn't have anything to do with this. Um, I just refuse to take the bait. Like I could clear this up and then it's gonna turn into like a back and forth type thing. And I will say that I've never been like a one night stand girl. Like I am not that person and this is no different. But if you want to take that and say like, oh, like I gave it up too quick or I need to have better discernment or whatever, like we're good over here. The discernment is good. And I'm just not going to take the bait to walk through the door. And that's just period.
Let's go.
I'm
Okay,
not going
let's
to do it.
go.
I'm not going to do it. And like I said, there's that little part of my brain that's like, no, tell them, like, eat them up and straighten them. And I'm not going to do it because
Mm.
it gives off.
Mercedes in the chat keeps on saying, "Clear it up, sis. Clear
Mm-mm.
it up,
No,
sis."
because it gives off because this is exactly why I'm not going to because even if you assume the worst possible storyline, I guess, for what
Mhm.
is a possible storyline from what was portrayed, that I guess like the worst plausible storyline is that I threw my number and threw myself at, a man that I had just met and then we met up that night and, had relations. If that is what you are assuming, then it ain't true. But what I'm saying is that if a woman decided to do that and you're not saying that it's wrong for him, then why is it always like on the woman to like keep this like great a kind of, I don't know, like this pure, like what, come on, like y'all can't be talking about like city girls up and um we, it's a hot girl summer and all this stuff, but then when something's so isolated and one thing happens, you want to say like, oh, she wrong for that, or she should have held herself high in a higher regard. I am held in a very high regard. Anyone from my past will continue to hold me in that high regard, and that's why he still holds me in that high regard, and I'm just not going to take the bait, because it will give off the impression that I am defending something that should not be viewed as negative. If two adults want to do whatever, I don't care if two adults want to meet and then have whatever kind of sexual relations. I don't, they can have the wildest whatever. Then that's their business. And I'm not going to give the impression that that's not okay for a woman to make that choice for her. And that's period. Like that is it. That is all. So
Period.
maybe that'll change. Maybe it'll become too much, and I'll be like, all right, enough of that. Like I tried to stand on this platform. I tried to hold, and I might have to come out and just say I'm clearing the air finally. But for right now, I am going to do my best to put that message before defending myself, because I'm just one person with something is so like so much bigger than me. This is a huge issue, and we need to stop it.
What is next as far as this whole situation? Because what is coming is we as fans, bloggers, are going to be watching the reunion, and everybody's going to be anticipating what's going to happen. Now, after that, once we see whatever, whatever, there's going to be a whole lot of interviews, people talking about it. Um, I don't know. What do you? I'm trying to figure out so how to say like what do you think is going to happen going forward because it's not over. So you got to experience this continually. I guess is what I'm trying to say as well.
Mhm. Um, well, and maybe that'll be the moment. Maybe because I there was so much that came out during the reunion. So maybe how they chop, edit, chop, screw, whatever, that might be where I just like throw in the towel and just be like, enough is enough. Like I'm just gonna clear the air, and maybe I don't know, but I know we have one more episode, I think, and then the reunion. I'm guessing the reunion will be two parts. Heck, it might be three parts because we were there for.
Oh,
But I do think that there will be more to clear up. I think people who haven't said much will even have more to say at that point. I might have more to say. As you know, I don't really mince words. I'm aware of my contractual obligations, and I'm not going to. I don't want to ruin it for y'all either. Like I'm not gonna, tell about what's gonna happen. Let y'all watch it and be surprised and watch it in real time. But honestly, I'm be watching in real time too, because the editing, and not just taking like half of one person's sentence and chopping in and screwing with another part of their sentence, or putting a b-roll on and words in the background to make it seem like it relates to something else, but just editing in a sense of like not showing everything can be a lot. So it's not so much about clearing up, but like sharing the rest of the story, like sharing the full like story as far as like what I think was important or what I think should have been shared. I think everybody's gonna probably have that kind of energy after the reunion for sure.
wow. Chloe, I saw a blogger in the chat. Shout out to Chloe Demita, um, mod Afro Mama who covered the show. So I got some bloggers and some Facebook. I'm sorry, Race Love fans. Community Reviews crew is in the building. Real quick, guys. We got a good crowd in the chat. Everybody, take a moment and hit the like button for me and subscribe. Oops, my bad. Yes, we have the queen here. She has been, and baby, the words are wording today. Okay, so I'm just like, come on. I love an astute individual like myself. I use all my brain parts. Okay, so I'm just like, yes, ma'am. So I was loving the responses. I know that people probably saying it was more of a lawyer jargon, maybe. Yeah, she's a lawyer, so she probably is going to have that type of tone. But at
Mhm.
the same time, she's going to give facts. This is what lawyers do. I'm just going to
Right.
give you the facts, and I believe what you're doing now, without giving exactly everything away because you have a review coming up. Now, people do say that you Kid and Simone, y'all look alike. So, what are we missing here?
I don't know. I thought it was super random that like she got engaged on the only episode that I was on, and that was what I was hearing after that first episode, like, oh, the one that's a lawyer too, the one that looks like Simone, the one that da da da. And I love Simone. I think she's fantastic. So I think it's a compliment if people make that comparison. And I look forward to, sitting down with her and having a conversation as well. And I don't know, I do think it's random. I'm glad that I have a little bit of blonde left here, but I think that I'm glad that, my hair wasn't fully blonde anymore. But I
Yeah, I
think
was like, that'd be cute.
yeah, I mean, I don't think if you put us side by side that, we look like we're sisters or whatever, but it's obvious. You were both lawyers, we both have curly hair.
Right.
I have an upbeat kind of bubbly personality most of the time. I've been, kind of like on some different energy today, but
I'm
I
sure.
comparisons are obvious. And I think that, Simone and I in real life would be a whole vibe. But as far as my meeting her at the mixer and having that conversation with her was my first time ever meeting her.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, I had never met her before. Obviously knew of her from the show, and the fact that she's a lawyer is going to make me remember her, even though her episode was, years ago. But I think it makes sense for people to say that I remind them of Simone because lawyer, curly hair, similar complexion, just it's obvious.
Right. No, I met Simone. I went to me and another content creator, Dina, aka Christina. We actually drove to Houston for the premiere for this season of Miami, and then at that premiere, uh, they were spoke about their show and their plans to be married. It was catered. A lot of Ready to Love cast were there for the past. It was a great experience for me as a blogger. I had a great time. She was nice. I mean, something the video still, if y'all want to watch it. It was really really cool. So yeah, she's awesome. So that's why I compared a little bit when I said that you and Tony could have been that. Let's say there was no Morgan or she or whatever, and you guys intentionally dated, it would have been a different way. Ready to Love is still that vessel. People have gotten together outside of it, obviously. So if y'all would have got together like that, it would have been another great love story, however it would have played out. Um,
I mean, it could
you
have.
know,
I mean, I did like clearly I liked Tony and got to know him, but I just things just got too messy. So it's unfortunate, but that's part of the game. Like you win, you lose, and you just make sure you wash the uniform, suit back up, and get ready to go play the next game. Like that's just what it is.
period. So the reunion that's
Mhm.
coming up. And like you said, we're one episode away. I'm getting dressed up for the panel for the reunion. I'm just gonna say that right quick, okay? I do every season. I'm getting really wearing something cute so I can drag and go off. I'm sure, or cry or whatever. Um, and I'm not asking you for spoilers. I know better, but is it gonna be good?
Mhm. Yeah, I think that even if I don't care if you only watch like 1 or 2 episodes the whole season,
mm,
don't miss the reunion. Like
mm,
I don't know what's going to be on, but I am sure that the editors, because it's a different team that's involved with the. I keep saying chop and screwing, but y'all know what I mean. Like the editing of the what we actually see on TV.
yeah,
I know they've probably been working on the reunion while simultaneously like working on the rest of the season because there's just so much. Like we were there for so long, so much happened. So there's no way, especially with them, why was I brought up? So it's like for me to like come back in it, it's like they're looking for all the juice to squeeze, all of it. So I do not think there's any possible way that it's not gonna be like good TV. I mean, let's just call it what it is. I'm smiling because I'm like, I really thought I was gonna go to that reunion, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna be chilling in the green room because I was only there for 5 seconds.
interesting.
No, because you get called on stage for each specific like segment. So if it's a segment about this cast member, then they're going to bring out all the potential connections that person has. So like I would hear my name and I'd be like, oh, like couldn't have been me. And then it's like
Right.
need you on stage, and I'm like, why? Like I didn't expect it, and it wasn't until the second
Mm,
segment where this discussion was brought up, and that was the first I learned that this was a part of the thing. Like it was like, wait, what?
that's
Like
crazy. Jay, I'm not saying that Tony is Rashad. It was more of a comparison of another a couple
Connect.
on the show, another connection that happened in the past, and it would have been another way because the way they got together was outside of the show. And this would have been a similar situation if y'all would have got together, it would have been outside of the show. So
Mhm.
that's where the reference comes from. So it's whatever. Um, yeah, people in the chat also said you were blindsided. Do you feel like in all aspects of this topic you were blindsided?
Yeah, because I didn't learn about it until at the reunion. So the only thing I knew that my name came up about the fact that I was dating Tony off screen. That's it. Like I just thought that that was the extent of it. I didn't know that it was forced onto camera. I didn't know that me and Morgan had beef. Like I'm at the reunion, like we were never friendly like that or whatever. But I know, like I didn't know until it literally came up the second to last segment of the reunion, and it was kind of like, what? Like did like let's be real. But yeah, so I 100% was blindsided, and then I don't want to say blindsided with regard to Friday's episode, but that was the first time I really understood like how it came up, like how it, because I'm wondering like why was my name even brought up, like that's what I'm thinking. So that was when I got that question answered for the first time. And like I said, Tony reached out the day before. I didn't respond. Morgan apologized in my DM, like maybe if I had to guess, I think it was like 35 minutes before the episode. But it didn't say, I brought your name up because I did it out of spite, but like I didn't know any of that. So to see that, it definitely was like I learned that the same time y'all learned it.
Wait a minute. We talk about how we want real couples, and not folks playing couples for TV. So it shouldn't be an issue dating others off the show. I don't know if anyone said that, little baby. I think it's a good idea for them to do that. I think that's good that you guys are allowed to do that because you guys can still connect. Something can blossom from it. I think it's pretty cool, to be honest, that they even allow you to do that. Um, I know you gotta go back to work, so I'm enjoying you so much this conversation. I just like it's just a bit amazing what I've been hearing from you. I'm just like I cannot. I feel a little bit shocked. I'm just like, what? They've been dating this whole entire time. So did he tell you things happened on the show because you guys were dating? Did he
Mm-mm,
tell you?
mm-mm.
Did you know he was into Morgan?
No, I found out towards the end, but not from him. Is that a bird?
Mm.
Is that a bird?
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm in my. Yes, I'm actually in my backyard. I'm in
oh,
Texas.
I was like, you have a pet bird? That was random. But
No, man. I'm in Texas.
oh, that bird wants an interview spot, so like go
I
off.
swear.
But to this comment pin, yes, that was one of the things I took issue with. Um, so I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I'll give him an opportunity to clear those things up. If he doesn't, then I will address things further. But what was the question about what was the last thing you said? I got distracted by the bird.
I know. I'm so sorry. I don't know what. Yeah, tell me what I asked her.
About
Okay.
dating off camera and
Yeah.
like dating the whole time or whatever. So
Yeah.
again, that being a rule, I don't know. I missed it. Like it wasn't communicated to me. The opposite was communicated to me. If Tony like broke a rule and wasn't supposed to date someone outside of the process or someone that was eliminated from the process, then I wasn't aware of it. And our discussions about that were very different. So I don't know that that was communicated to him. I can't say again, that's something he'll have to answer because
Right. Okay.
I don't want to, third person or whatever. But um, I 100% think that it's real world to like to have cut off a connection just because, oh, like you were eliminated, so I can't talk to you anymore. I feel like he should have done it when I brought it up because you don't want to, like, why you want to be doing all of this with all these different people. But again, that is the process. It's just not my normal way of doing the process. But if it was, so it came down to where it would have had to be my decision to say, like, no, I'm not going to continue to date you, regardless of what you're saying or what you're expressing to me. I'm not going to do it. So it's like, who would have been the one to, like, I would have to be the person to step above everything else and put what I actually wanted to do to the side while everyone else just gets to do what they want to do when I was sent home way before I should have been sent home. Why?
Mercedes says real world equals this process.
No, it don't. Oh, I think she's saying it does not equal this process.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, does not. Yes, yeah. Okay, I was like, well, okay. I was like, what? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
okay.
I agree.
How did you find out about Tony and Morgan? That's a good question.
I heard it like through rumor, people saying that he was interested in Morgan and Marcia. I was trying to figure out whatever I wanted to figure out on my own. It wasn't about like a competition. So, and I think that if I would have been like, oh well, I'm dating him and da 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 da, it would have been more so to throw like a monkey wrench and whatever. But we had conversation about that, and I expected him to tell me certain things that he clearly didn't. But I found out about him having a connection or being interested in Morgan and Marcia like much after watching the show and seeing how early on that started. It was way later that like I started to hear about it, and that's when I still am not the type to be like, I'm not going to put nobody name in my mouth and be asking about them, but I'm just going to protect my heart as best I can. But yeah, I don't know. I did hear, but then I also heard that Morgan wasn't interested and she was dating Lyndon. So I realized that I'm just like hearing stuff, and I tried to get
Okay.
it from the source. And because people aren't coming to me, like it's not like they were coming to me and be like, "Hey, I know you and Tony are dating, so I just want you to know what's really going on." It was more so just like casual talk.
Mm.
It wasn't a place for me to be like, "Wait, so back up now. What you were saying? Tony did what now?" Like it wasn't the kind of conversation.
not the invitation. Like, okay, what happened?
Yeah,
Oh
tell me
my god.
a little bit what you were saying. So it
So I
wasn't.
get it. I get it. They kind of trying to have your back. Like, hey, girl, look, I'm outside this. I know y'all really, really dating. Let me tell you the tea.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I think that people were trying to put a lot of things together, and maybe production in the background was looking for, like I said, the juice. They want all the juice, and I don't know. I can't really speak on those direct conversations because all I know is the conversations that I had, and I guess like what was bringing those topics up was not like from a place of like if my one of my friends was on the show, like my like actual friend, they would have been like, girl, he on the show doing this, girl, he gonna embarrass you, like back it up. Then that would have been totally different. But because I decided to allow myself to be in part of the process, I guess, when I should just took my behind on about my business, I only saw like a part of it. I didn't get to see everything that everybody else got to see. So
One of the questions I think I've asked a lot of women this season is Blake was a big, and I know you left the show, but you were still a part of it and all these things and watched episodes, I'm sure, with us. Blake has been a big topic, and I asked him this on my platform. A lot of people love to hate him. Like, he is literally the villain. Um, what is your take on that? Like, why are some people so against him? Is it real? Is it what it is? What is it? Or did you see anything?
um
Not the face.
I don't. I mean, I don't know why people. I don't think it's like a choice to see him in
Okay.
that way. That's just like how they see
Oh.
him.
Mm,
And I don't know. I don't have no problem with like Blake. Like I see him, we cool or whatever.
right.
But I don't think that we're mm, there's no equally yoking going on there. I don't see things the way that he sees them. I don't agree with how he like went through the process. I don't think that he had like the best intentions from what I see. But if he was able to find a connection in it, then I don't know. I think it's like people wanted him to go home like from the beginning. Like that's all we talked about when we deliberated amongst the group that I was in. But he was saved every time and put into the forefront. So I feel like there was just more material on him for people to make their own opinion about him. So if people feel like they don't like him, then that's based on whatever they took from what
Right.
was there. Yeah.
Right.
I, I,
Exactly.
I don't feel like, and I don't know him well enough to know if it's like a personality thing, to know that he's just like dry and monotone, if that's him, or if he just was like not interested, because like his, like the dates that I saw, it was just very much like interview, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Mm.
I mean, that very well could have been like, okay, well, I can't fake any emotion. I'm not feeling this person. And I do know that they sent him on a lot of dates early on, even before they started sending other people on dates. So he might have been looking like, I don't want to be here. And maybe that's why he acted that way. But it also could seem like, because he never was like super excited. Like you just didn't see like this extra, you know, charismatic person just appear. So I also think that it might just be like his way of being. So I think that it requires like to know him. So, he did have a friend that came on, and she, said she knows him very well, and she kind of described him as a person. So I think that it could just be how you like how he comes off, and at the end of the day, but like on TV, that's all you have, like how you come off, like
Right.
that's what people are gonna. But I don't think it's like a victim thing where it's like, oh, everybody picking on Blake. I think that, people have that opinion because of what they saw and what they feel. And I don't think that it helps, like, people coming out and telling his like background business too, for people to like kind of grab onto that as well. So I just, I don't know.
Wait a minute. What JRXTV says you couldn't have been in deliberation because you were already home.
We had deliberation the first day, JRX TV. So that's what
Oh,
I'm talking about. So even though I didn't make it to the women's lounge, if that's what you're referring to, that's true. I never went to the women's lounge. I'm just saying. But we had deliberations. I'm pretty sure some of it is shown where we decided who was in our bottom, who we felt like we had a connection with, et cetera, et cetera. So
this is when you said it. This is when you said it. Did they have to live in the JRXTV? I was like, oh, snap.
that's
But
that's all I'm saying. But
yeah, that was a good. That was. But I mean, it's a question people were asking about that too, as far as deliveries. They were saying that also. That's. But for you, the reviews coming up. Is there anything that happened that you wish didn't happen?
on the show,
Yeah. Well, the reunion, actually, because that's going to be the big thing coming for you next. We'll see you again with the cast and all of that.
mm, I mean, I feel like this whole topic could have been like left alone. Like I feel like I just I don't know. I just feel like this is me too grown for this. I feel as though I'm just a little sad with how this season went, because I think that
Mm,
it was just very drama filled. And I was a fan of the show before I was on it, and it's just, I don't know, it just kind of like broke my heart a little bit, and I can't like I can't unlearn what I already learned
oh
about,
yeah.
like the backgrounds of it. And I don't know. I wish that the tone of it was different, I guess. Because there was a lot of drama. And I was kind of like, oh dang, are y'all beefing? Oh, like I was like minding my business, and then all of a sudden it was like, wait, why I'm in it? Like, so I do wish that I was just out of it. Like I do. I feel like, I was only on the show for like 3.5 seconds, and I just thought, like I'd gone my own way. Um, as far as like the rest of the reunion, I wish they had like more food. I was hungry. Um, but as far as like something not happening that did, that's the only thing that I can say. I just wish that like I just wish none of this was a topic of discussion, honestly. Like we grown. Who brings
Yeah.
it up to even try to like make this a topic of discussion? And initially I thought Tony did. I thought Tony was trying to stay relevant and was mad at me, and tried to like read me or tarnish my reputation or whatever. So I was like, ew, you're gross. Like what grown man even tries to do this to anyone? But here we are. I mean, I guess I struggle with like regrets, and I struggle with like saying like, oh, I wish this didn't, or what. I just feel like everything happens exactly the way that it's supposed to happen, and everything happens for a reason, and I just can't not see things that way. And I tend to see things like in a very positive light, so I can't really ignore that. That's just like that's the goggles that I look at the world through. So as far as like the reunion going, it went the way it went. Shoot, that
Mm.
was 2 months ago. What, 4 months ago now? So it's like it's hard to even remember everything, but I just know it was a lot. So it's gonna be good TV.
Yes. Joe, Fenwick, you probably was heard because a lot of the Red Stuff cast been coming to my panels and also my lives and interviews. Make sure you guys tune in. We do the panel every Saturday at noon. It's always lit. We have Stacy from Raising Love on there. She's a regular panel member. You know, we got my girl on there, Cookie on there as well. So we have it. Uh, the both Red Love that they get their insight. So hopefully next season you can come and guest star on my panel and give commentary about Ready to Love Dallas in my state. Let's go. Okay. I'm so excited about it. Oh my God. Okay. Oh my
Well,
God.
you could do some in person interviews then, since you're right there in Dallas.
Girl, I've been trying to like figure things out. I'm like, how am I gonna do this? But that's
Mhm.
another. So I tell all my cast member friends, when you see who they are, tell them, go ahead DM me so I can go ahead and hit him up. Like, look, I'm right here, baby. I do appreciate you coming on here because this topic was not a great topic. It wasn't like I'm so excited because I wasn't. I gave my opinion about this when it first happened. I
Mhm.
wasn't happy. I talked about it on a panel last Saturday, but I was like, I want to have her on here so she can speak her narrative, not what everybody else says. And
I
then
appreciate it.
that's what I wanted. So yeah,
I appreciate that,
all
and I'm happy
love.
to be here. I mean, I know I would have been back, around the time of the reunion and stuff anyway, but I guess that's the beauty of my, catching these stray bullets and whatever. Like,
Are you coming back? Oh no, ma'am, we're not done. We gotta have another part to this
no, but
because I
I'm
know.
saying, at least, like here is I didn't ask for it, but at least it's like,
No, you
like,
didn't.
oh,
You
hey,
didn't.
remember Natasha? And it's like, okay, well, here I go. I'll, talk
Here
about
I
what.
go. Here I go. Well, first of all, you didn't ask for it, which is trash. No, no, I won't even say it's trash. It's this. That's what it actually is. Okay, because that didn't have to go down like that. Okay, women, we are strong, all these things, it's cool. But there was so much nastiness in the voice when you looked down and looked up and said, she's not attractive, however you said it. It was so gross. I don't understand why. That's why I felt to this day she just found out that that was covered. It's almost like the producer was like, hey, real quick, I'm gonna tell you what happened. And we're gonna record in 5, 4, 3. That's how I feel. The emotion was right there. It was seeping through her.
Yeah. It yeah. I can't speak on a motivation. All I know is that I can't think of any scenario that would justify it. Like it was distasteful. It was mm.
People are really giving you a lot of love in the chat, and I'm really loving that. So Um, thank you, Mama, for coming by and giving me the exclusive. You are awesome. I really know we're gonna do another part after the reunion. We're gonna be even more spicier. Whatever part two, part three, whatever it is, cinema on. I will be back, guys, on Saturday for the panel. Hopefully, she grits my panel after the show is over and give her opinions about Ready to Love. I have strong women on my panel. We have a fight, discussion, whatever you want to say, but it's all in fun. Do you have any final words for my crew, commission reviews, anybody who's listening? Shout out to
No,
the 5 foot in the chat.
I definitely thank you, Jay. I definitely have caught a couple of the episodes, and y'all are hilarious. I love that it's a blend of different women, different personalities, but all very strong personalities. Like I don't remember any of the names to make examples, but one person would be like, I don't care what y'all saying. Da, 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 da. Like I love that because again, it's all about being who you are, being your authentic self, and not really feeling the need to like go with the flow or following, like jumping on the bandwagon or whatever. Like I could think this and you could think that, and we all gonna get along because we are entitled to have our own opinion. So I love that about your panel. Y'all are hilarious, and I'll come on anytime. Like absolutely.
Yes. Okay. See, I heard it here, crew. She will be on for the new season. Okay. I
Mhm.
already know that Mod Afro Mama is gonna do a recap of this
Mhm.
live. So yeah, make sure you're gonna follow her because she's bitch love as well. But Miss Ma'am,
Hilarious
yeah,
too. I caught
mod.
a piece of her. I don't know who it was, but I just randomly caught like a little piece of it, and she's funny.
And me and Ma go back and forth. I call them my mini me. That's probably why we go back and forth. I mentored the ladies on my. I have another panel where it's my mentee panel. Where I
Okay.
counsel up and coming YouTubers or content creators, podcasts, whatever they want to do, to pay me a small fee, join my program, and I coach them best I can. And then I have two, three that's been, two are been monetized, a couple who are close. I'm trying to help that women make that coin, be the bosses that they are. So that's something I love to do. Oh,
Okay.
Mom's right here.
Well, I'm starting a YouTube channel. It should have been started, but I have to do things like my work comes first. Well, if I'm dating, then he come first and then my work. But it's definitely in the works. So maybe I need to join your program and get.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Hold on, wait a minute. Just another content creator just said she's also recapping it. Kiss My Cheeks TV, another
Oh,
mentee of mine. So yeah, you're gonna be. Yes, ma'am. They were talking about you tonight. Y'all better make my girl trend, okay? Mercedes, don't minimize. Wait, I'm sorry. What? Oh, no, I'm sorry. That wasn't me. So yeah, it was tacky. Ratings are high without sharing her private business. I agree. Tony told Morgan she knows he likes to eat. Okay. I don't know what happened there. Oh my God.
that's a reference to their own personal intimate life. And I guess, people are saying that it's already obvious that they were. And that's, I not the eating comment, but I agree with that because I feel like why, like you ain't bringing up your personal business and you could speak on that if you want to, but like you want to bring somebody else's business up and you're only speaking on what you think happened or what was told to you. Like you don't have any direct knowledge. We can all say that. Like that's clear.
Right.
This ain't no sister wife situation. So there's nothing
Period.
have the ability to speak on, and yet what you do have the ability and the direct knowledge of, like the ability to speak on and the direct knowledge of, you don't want to speak on that. So I think that's, I mean, I don't know, that's child.
It's a lot. But you handled it very well, man, like a queen. Uh, I don't know what the yuck means, but thank you again for coming on. Please come back. Not just my panel. We gotta talk at the beginning. We gotta really get deep. 'Cause I'm pretty sure, Lord, it's gonna be a lot. And I what was the noise? Okay, I'm sorry. I cannot wait to have you back on here again. And again, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys subscribe, and go follow the lit lawyer on Instagram. Okay, beautiful black woman, smart, astute individual, spoke her business, told what it was, and like that's it. And that is how you handle a situation like this with class. So
I
with
didn't know
that
there
being
was a
said,
right or wrong way to handle it. This was just like,
well, what you know what? I don't know that there is, but I'm just telling you, you're showing about to do it the right way. Let's say that.
thank
Okay.
you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Because there's
But
no
don't,
point to it. I couldn't Google, hey, how do I respond to
girl. Oh my God. There's like, I'm like,
no, but for real. No,
I was
serious.
like, no, I was like, I'm so serious. I need like,
And did definitely had a point. Hey, refill. I need a refill.
oh Jesus Christ. A period. I'm gonna forget to period. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's it. That's all. Drop the mic. We done. So I
So
appreciate
again,
you having
guys.
me there. You
Yes,
were one of
ma'am.
the people that reached out and was like, I don't like this. We gotta get you started. So I appreciate it. I do.
They all know me out there. And if you guys haven't subscribed to me, please do so at this time. I am the queen of reality TV and have been doing Ready to Love since the beginning. So go check out my panels, my content, and just enjoy the ride. Natasha, thank you, Queen. That
Thank
being said, I'm
you.
closing the door. Bye.